Thank
Hear you
you,
now.
Chair Rush and Republican Leader Burgess, for holding this hearing today, and thanks to the witnesses for your insight on decarbonization in the U.S. energy industry. Like many of my colleagues on this committee, I support an all-of-the-above approach to our energy supply and power generation. Access to abundant, reliable energy sources is beneficial for the customer, the economy, and for our national security and safety, as we're unfortunately seeing so drastically in Texas in the last few days. I agree with my friends across the aisle that renewables should play an important role in the future of our energy supply. Indiana's 6th District is doing its part to implement innovative clean energy technologies. North Vernon, Indiana, was the first city government in the state to be entirely powered by solar energy. The streetlights, buildings, traffic signals are all powered by locally sourced solar energy. Cummins Engine Company just mentioned the over-the-road diesel emissions, is located in my hometown in Columbus, Indiana. It is an international leader in heavy-duty electric engines, and in 2020 alone, Cummins won 5 Department of Energy awards, the most of any company, to advance the production of fuel cell technologies. So, Doctor, I hope that one wins out. And in the state of Indiana, wind energy production has doubled over the past decade, accounting for 6% of energy produced in Indiana. Hoosiers do not have a top-down federal mandate to thank for this progress. This progress is attributed to improved economic costs and a free market response to the growing demand for diverse energy production. It is in our best interest to support both the efforts to expand renewable energy capacity and access to fossil fuels like natural gas and coal. They provide robust baseload energy we need for a regional electric grid. As Mr. Camp mentions in his testimony, natural gas plays a critical role in local economic development, emissions reduction, and lower consumer utility bills. It's also a driver for good-paying manufacturing jobs that use natural gas for feedstock in the production process of plastics and chemicals in everyday consumer goods in the manufacturing, which is so important to the state of Indiana. We need a robust network of pipelines to extend those benefits to parts of the country that do not have locally sourced supplies of natural gas. Before coming to Congress, I personally shipped through pipelines, rail, and trucking companies. I know firsthand that nothing is safer for the environment and human lives than the pipelines that move reliable sources of energy to every corner of our country. If we are serious about maintaining a reliable energy source and competitiveness, low prices for consumers and a diverse energy supply is paramount. Mr. Powell, running along the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana, the Clifty Creek Power Plant burns coal for electricity generation, producing enough energy to power a city of 1 million people. Since the plant was constructed in the 1950s, the Clifty Creek Power Plant has invested more than $1 billion in environmental upgrades and efficiencies. Congress passed several provisions in the omnibus bill relating to clean coal innovation, including the 45Q tax credit extension for carbon capture, as well as demonstration programs to explore alternative uses for coal. Mr. Powell, can you speak to the importance of these provisions and how the Biden administration can approach the implementation in accordance with congressional intent?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Congressman. Thank you for your attention to these issues, this important support for carbon capture technology. For facilities like the one you're discussing, I think the important thing now is first demonstrating that we can bring down the cost of coal carbon capture technology. So that's the first thing that DOE needs to do. Right now, 45Q isn't quite enough to probably justify putting carbon capture on those facilities. We need to bring the price down a little further. And so the demonstration program set up at DOE will now authorize public-private partnerships to do more demonstrations on facilities like yours, to capture those emissions in cost share with private sector players and with private sector utilities. So I think that's the first thing. And then once we've brought the cost down further to where it's more economic, 45Q hopefully will be able to take over. We may need to think about further extensions of 45Q in the future to continue helping support that technology and that deployment.
Thank you. I yield back.
Gentlemen,